What if I told you the solar generator everyone is hyping right now might not actually be the one you should buy? EcoFlow has completely dominated the portable power and home backup market over the last few years. From camping YouTubers to off-grid homeowners, the brand has become almost synonymous with solar generators. But in 2026, with all the shiny new models dropping, it's time to slow down, look past the marketing, and ask a serious question. Which EcoFlow units are actually worth it, and which ones should you not buy yet? Let's start with the monster in the room, the Delta Pro Ultra X. At CES this year, EcoFlow's booth was basically screaming one name, Delta Pro Ultra X, and honestly, it deserves the attention. This thing is an absolute monster. We're talking about a 12,000-watt inverter in a single unit. That's not portable power anymore, that's straight-up whole home backup territory. Each battery module packs 6,144 watt-hours, meaning with 4 batteries, you're sitting on a massive energy reserve that rivals full server rack battery setups. And then there's the solar input, up to 10,000 watts, split across 2 inputs, with support for up to 500 volts. Almost nothing else on the consumer market even comes close to that level of solar input flexibility. That's why EcoFlow is often considered the gold standard in solar generators. But here's the part nobody tells you. The Delta Pro Ultra X is expensive. Like, really expensive. By the time you add batteries, panels, and installation, you're easily stepping into serious home energy system pricing. And while the inverter power is insane, most average households won't actually use anywhere near 12,000 watts continuously. So unless you're running electric dryers, well pumps, air conditioners, and heavy electric appliances all at once, you might be paying for power you'll never use. It's also not truly portable. Sure, it's modular, but once you stack multiple batteries, moving this thing becomes a workout. This is more of a semi-permanent installation than something you throw in an RV or take camping. In other words, incredible tech, but not for everyone. Smart Home Panel 3. Now here's where things get really interesting. EcoFlow's Smart Home Panel 3 might actually be the most revolutionary thing they've launched, not the battery. This panel supports up to 32 circuits, which is insane compared to most consumer backup systems. And unlike basic transfer switches, you can control each circuit individually. Imagine scheduling your water heater to run only during peak solar hours, or prioritizing battery charging during the day and heavy loads at night. This is the kind of granular control you usually see in ultra-premium systems like span panels, which can cost a fortune. EcoFlow offering something similar at a more accessible price is huge. But again, there's a catch. The Smart Home Panel 3 is still relatively new, and compatibility is still rolling out. Some older systems, like the original Delta Pro Ultra, are waiting on firmware updates for full backward compatibility. And when you're dealing with your home's electrical system, waiting for an update is not exactly comforting. Plus, installation is not DIY for most people. You'll need a licensed electrician, which adds cost and complexity. So while this panel is futuristic and powerful, it's still early-stage tech in the consumer market. Delta Pro Ultra. Before the Ultra X, the Delta Pro Ultra was the king. And honestly, it's still a beast. It's great for homes that already use propane or natural gas for major appliances and just need backup for essentials and moderate loads. You can also link multiple Ultra units together to simulate Ultra X level power. That modular approach can be more affordable and flexible, especially if you expand over time. But the downside, it's starting to feel outdated. The Ultra X simply outclasses it in inverter power, solar input, and future-proofing. If you're buying brand new in 2026, the Ultra might not be the smartest long-term investment unless you find a serious discount. The Smart Generator. EcoFlow also pushes its Smart Generator, which integrates with the Ultra, Ultra X, and Delta Pro 3 systems. It feeds DC power directly into the battery system, meaning you're not losing efficiency through AC conversion. This is great for cloudy days, emergencies, or long outages when solar just isn't enough. It essentially acts as your safety net, but it also adds another system to manage, maintain, and fuel. For people trying to go fully renewable, a generator feels like a step backward. And if you already have a traditional generator, you might not need EcoFlow's smart version at all. So is it cool? Yes. Is it essential? Not always. EcoFlow's ecosystem. One of EcoFlow's biggest strengths is its ecosystem. They have the Ocean line, Delta line, River line, Trail series, basically everything from tiny portable power banks to full home systems. They're also integrating with big brands like LG and Bosch, aiming for full smart home energy automation. That's a huge deal. Imagine your appliances, solar, batteries, and grid all talking to each other in real time. But here's the downside. Once you go all in on EcoFlow, you're kind of locked in. Mixing and matching brands becomes more complicated. firmware updates, app reliability, and cloud services become critical. If EcoFlow ever changes its platform or pricing model, users could feel trapped. It's the Apple ecosystem problem, but for your house's power. Delta Pro 3. The Delta Pro 3 is marketed as the sweet spot between the original Delta Pro and the Ultra series. It's powerful, modular, and designed for people who want serious backup power without going full industrial mode. It supports high output, works with EcoFlow's smart generator, and integrates nicely into their ecosystem. For many households, it's more than enough to run refrigerators, lights, networking equipment, and even some HVAC loads during outages. But here's the problem. The Delta Pro 3 sits in a weird middle ground. It's not cheap enough to be a casual purchase, and it's not powerful enough to fully replace the Ultra X for heavy-duty whole home use. If you're spending that much money, you'll constantly be asking yourself, should I have just gone bigger? And on the flip side, competitors are catching up fast. Bluetti, Anker, and Jackery are releasing similar capacity systems at aggressive prices. In 2026, the Delta Pro 3 feels less like a revolution and more like a very expensive incremental upgrade. River Series. EcoFlow's River series is what made them famous with casual users. These are the compact, portable power stations designed for weekend trips, small outages, and mobile work setups. They're lightweight, fast charging, and extremely easy to use. For someone just getting into solar, a River unit is one of the least intimidating ways to start. Plug in a panel, plug in your devices, and you're done. But the River lineup is starting to show its age. Battery capacities are relatively small compared to newer competitors, and power output limits what you can run. Forget about powering serious appliances. You're mostly limited to laptops, lights, cameras, and maybe a small fridge. In 2026, when even budget brands are pushing higher wattage and larger batteries, the River series feels more like an entry-level gateway product than a long-term solution. If you're buying your first power station, it's still solid. But if you're planning for long-term backup or off-grid living, you might outgrow it very quickly. Trail and portable lines. EcoFlow's trail and smaller portable units are clearly designed for outdoor enthusiasts. Think camping, hiking, overlanding, and van life. They're compact, rugged, and designed to be carried around without breaking your back. These are great for what they're built for. Charging phones, drones, lights, and small cooking gear becomes ridiculously easy. But the marketing sometimes blurs the line between portable gadget and serious power solution. Let's be real, these units will not run your house. They're not meant to. And if you buy them thinking they'll serve as a home backup system, you're going to be disappointed. The Ocean Line. EcoFlow's Ocean Line is part of their push into full smart home energy management. They want to be more than just battery boxes. They want to control how your entire house uses electricity. In theory, this is the future. Your solar panels, batteries, appliances, and grid connection all working together intelligently. Excess solar goes into hot water. Peak grid prices trigger battery discharge. Appliances run when energy is cheapest or cleanest. It's brilliant on paper, but in practice, smart energy ecosystems are still messy. Interoperability issues, firmware bugs, app crashes, and cloud dependency can turn a smart home into a frustrating home. If EcoFlow nails this, they could dominate the smart energy market. If they don't, early adopters might become beta testers for years. Why you shouldn't buy yet, even if you want to. EcoFlow's tech in 2026 is impressive, but it's also evolving fast. Prices are dropping, competitors are catching up, and standards are still shifting. If you buy right now, you might be locking yourself into first-gen versions of systems that will look outdated in just a year or two. And that's exactly why this list isn't just about the best EcoFlow units, it's about which ones you should wait on before pulling the trigger. The hidden downsides nobody talks about. EcoFlow's biggest advantage is integration, but integration also creates dependency. If their app goes down, if their servers change policies, or if they lock features behind subscriptions in the future, you're stuck. Your power system becomes partially controlled by software you don't fully own. There's also the rapid pace of innovation. Buying in 2026 means you're likely purchasing hardware that will be surpassed quickly. New battery chemistries, higher inverter efficiencies, and smarter panels are coming fast. And then there's the price. EcoFlow is rarely the cheapest option. You're paying for brand, software, support, and ecosystem. That's not bad, but it's something you should be aware of. How EcoFlow compares to competitors in 2026. EcoFlow is still one of the leaders, but they're no longer alone. Bluetti has been pushing massive capacities at lower prices. Anker is leveraging its consumer electronics expertise to deliver sleek, reliable systems. Jackery is refining its solar ecosystem and expanding into higher capacity units. The competition is fierce, and that's good news for consumers. Prices are dropping, features are improving, and innovation is accelerating. Which brings us to the main point. So should you buy an EcoFlow solar unit in 2026? Here's the honest answer. It depends. If you need power right now, for outages, off-grid living, or critical equipment, EcoFlow is one of the safest bets. Their products are reliable, well-supported, and easy to use. But if you're buying purely because of hype, YouTube reviews, or CES demos, you might want to slow down.